You know the exact moment a song stops being medicine and becomes poison. For 17 years, you've used your voice to pull people back from the edge of forgetting. But tonight, the desert air tastes like copper. Someone is singing your melody back at you from the shadows, distorted, hollowed out, and full of ash. Welcome to Fable's Adventures. I'm your host, and today's narrative, The Corrupted Echo, is for our 16-plus audience. It's a story about the danger of being too good at listening, and what happens when the person you saved tries to trap you in the home you never asked for. If you've ever felt the weight of someone else's expectations pulling at your seams, this story is for you. Please subscribe to join our caravan. Dim the lanterns. Let's see who's hiding in the music tent.
You taste copper on your tongue before you hear it. The music tent shivers, canvas walls trembling like skin in fever, and there, threading through the dark between support ropes, comes your own melody. Except it isn't yours anymore. It's hollowed out, a voice speaking your words in a mouthful of ash. You've spent 17 years singing people back from the edge of forgetting, and you know the exact moment when a song stops being medicine and becomes poison. This one tastes like poison. "Did you hear that?" asks Mira, your drummer, from where she's coiling rope near the entrance. She doesn't look up. Her hands move with the careful precision of someone who's learned to keep busy when the air turns strange. The wind's carrying something odd tonight. You don't answer. You're watching the lantern light bend around the distorted echo, watching it move like it has weight, like it's something you could catch and wring dry. In the mirror propped against the supply crate, always the mirror, always showing you what's already gone, you see your own face a half-second too late. Eyes wide, mouth open in a shape that isn't quite alarm. The song twists again. This time you hear it clearly, your melody about finding home in the spaces between heartbeats, but warped into something that sounds like drowning, like forgetting, like the exact opposite of what you'd poured into those notes 3 nights ago when a girl came to the tent with hollow eyes and left with something close to wonder. "Where is everyone?" you ask Mira. Your voice comes out steady. You've had practice with that. "Round the fire. Dinner's been ready since sundown." She finally glances at you, and you catch something, a flicker of something, in the set of her jaw. Or maybe you're inventing it. Maybe the copper taste is making you see mirrors within mirrors. "You're not eating?" "In a moment." She leaves. The rope coils beside her like a sleeping snake, and you're alone with the corrupted echo. This is the problem with being someone who listens for what's unsaid. You get very good at hearing the architecture of deception, the weight of it, the way it rearranges the air around it. And right now, the air in the music tent tastes like old coins and regret. The caravan has been yours for 3 seasons now, or perhaps you've been theirs. Ownership blurs when you're always moving. 7 wagons, 12 people now. A rotating cast of strays and lost souls who drift in, stay long enough to remember they're real, then drift out again into the world looking less hollow. You tell yourself this is enough. Some nights you even believe it. Tonight isn't one of those nights. You move through the tent methodically, checking. The instruments, yours and Mira's and Kezik's bent old guitar, all untouched. The songbooks scattered across cushions, their pages worn soft as skin from your hands. And there, in the far corner where you keep the personal things, the mirror sits reflecting the past. You, a moment ago, standing frozen. You, already gone. The distorted melody comes again, closer this time. Or perhaps you're walking toward it. In a caravan, privacy is a performance. Everyone knows everyone's sleeping rhythms, feeding habits, which wounds they don't want touched. You know that Mira drums faster when she's anxious. You know that Kezik talks to his guitar like it might answer back. You know that little tarn who joined you 2 weeks ago after wandering out of a dust storm, has nightmares that sound like forgetting. You know that someone among them has learned to sing like you. The fire crackles when you approach. 8 faces turn toward you, and you do the thing you've trained yourself to do. You listen, not to words, those are easy to fake, but to the spaces between them, the held breaths, the micro-silences where the truth tries to hide. Kesik's jaw tightens when he sees you, but Kesik's jaw always tightens. He's a man who carries everything in his shoulders. Tarn watches you with those 2 old eyes, spoon halfway to mouth, and for just a moment you see it, a flicker of something that looks like hunger, not for food. Mira, your Mira, the one you've traveled with since the caravan formed, doesn't look up from her plate. There's something wrong with the music tent, you say. You sit down. Someone passes you bread. The caravan does this automatically now. You've become someone they feed. The echoes are corrupted. My songs are coming back wrong. For a moment, no one speaks. Then Kesik laughs, a harsh, brittle sound like glass in a jar. The desert does that, he says. Twists things, makes them strange. We've all noticed the wind's been peculiar. But you're not looking at Kesik. You're looking at Tarn, and Tarn is looking at his spoon like it's the most important object in the world. Not the desert, you say quietly. Someone's learned my voice. The silence that follows is the kind that has texture. You can feel it against your skin, damp and cold, like the inside of a closed room where something's been left too long. That's impossible, says Mira. She says it easily, which is how you know she's lying. Mira never says anything easy when it matters. No one else has the gift. We've talked about this. Your voice is learned, you repeat. Not stolen, learned, which means someone sat with my songs long enough to understand them, long enough to know how to break them. You stand up. You walk back to the music tent without waiting for a response, and you know, the way you always know, that one of them will follow. It's Tarn. Of course it's Tarn. In stories, it's always the youngest, the most vulnerable, the one you extended your hand to when they stumbled out of the dust, with a voice that had forgotten how to make sound. Tarn finds you in the music tent, sitting in the dark with your hands on the strings of your instrument but no music coming out. I didn't mean to break them, Tarn says. Their voice is different now, less hollow, more present, more them. At first I just wanted to understand, the way you sang, the way people came back from the edge of nothing because of it. I wanted to know how you did that. So you learned. I practiced. Tarn sits across from you. In the darkness you can't see their face clearly, only the shape of it. Another mirror showing you what's already passed. I sat outside the tent every night, and I sang your songs back at myself until I understood the shape of them, the bones. And then I realized their voice catches. I realized I could change them, make them say different things, make them call to people in a different way. You want to be angry. You've rehearsed anger for this moment, ever since the first distorted echo. But what you feel instead is something more complicated. Recognition, perhaps. The way you always feel when you meet someone else who understands that music isn't just sound. It's a weapon and a mercy, depending on who's holding it. Why, you ask? Because I wanted to keep you here. The tent seems to hold its breath. The caravan moves, Tarn continues. Everyone knows that's the whole thing about it. We move, we stay a little while, we move again. And I thought, if your songs started calling people back, if they started corrupting, twisting into something that made people need to come here, need to stay, then maybe you'd have to stay too. Maybe you'd stop leaving. It's the saddest logic you've ever heard, and it's also the most sensible. You thought you could trap me with my own gift. I thought I could give you what you've been searching for, a reason to stop moving, a home that doesn't leave. Tarn's voice wavers. But I just made it worse, didn't I? I made the song sick, and that meant you'd leave faster. You close your eyes. In the darkness behind your eyelids, you see it. The mirror reflecting a moment that's already gone. You, realizing that the person you took in is the person who's been trying to destroy the only thing you know how to do. You, understanding that love and harm sometimes wear the same face. You, accepting that maybe they're not so different after all. I can't stay, you tell Tarn, and you mean it. It's the truest thing you'll say all year. I know, Tarn whispers, but I can teach you to sing them right, the real songs, the ones that heal instead of haunt. You open your eyes. The tent is still dark, but you can make out Tarn's face now, younger than you remembered, and so desperately, achingly, alone. I can teach you, and then you can stay here. You can keep the tent. You can sing for people who come out of the dust with hollow eyes. But you'll leave. Yes, I'll leave. I've always been leaving. That's the only thing I know how to do that doesn't break. You reach across the darkness and touch Tarn's hand. It's cold, small, trembling slightly. But maybe that's not breaking. Maybe that's just moving. And maybe there's a difference between running away and searching. And maybe the caravan. Maybe we're all just searching in our own ways. Tarn doesn't cry. You expected them to cry, but they don't. Instead, they nod slowly, as if you've confirmed something they already suspected. Will you come back? They ask. You think about this. You think about horizons that never stay the same, about homes made of canvas and impermanence, about the way a good song and a listening ear might be enough to transform both yourself and those around you. You think about the fact that the caravan moves, but the caravan always moves in circles. Deserts have a way of returning you to where you started. Yes, you say, eventually, I'll come back. It's a promise you might keep. It's also a lie you're learning to live with. The next morning, you teach Tarn the songs from the beginning. You teach them the melody of finding home in heartbeats, the real one, not the corrupted echo. You teach them the song that reminds people they're not alone. You teach them the architecture of healing. By noon, Tarn's voice is so close to yours that even you have to listen carefully to hear the difference. By evening, the caravan is packing the wagons. The desert wind carries something new now, not corrupted, but not quite pure either. Something in between, something that sounds like goodbye, and also like eventually. You don't stay to see them finish. You take the smallest wagon, the one that moves fastest, and you point it toward the next horizon. Behind you, in the music tent, Tarn sings your song back at the darkness, and it sounds almost right, almost like home. It will have to be enough.
Tarn wanted a home that wouldn't leave, so they tried to break the songs that made you move. It's a terrifying truth of the heart. Sometimes, we hurt the things we love just to keep them from walking away. In the end, the only way to save the music was to leave it behind. I have a question for you. Do you think it was a mercy for the protagonist to leave Tarn with their gift? Or did they just hand a dangerous weapon to a lonely child? Let's discuss the ethics of this exchange in the comments below. If this story resonated with your own search for home, please like and subscribe. For those who want to build their own desert caravans and complex legacies, the Fables Adventures app is linked in the description. Until tomorrow, keep your voice true, even when the wind tries to change it.